I'm Alice Quinn of Quintessential Comics here at the Silver Snail Toronto with Bill Willingham, creator of Fables and writer of other comics as well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. How are you, Alice?
I'm very well, thank you.
I was just saying like a generic well. I'm glad you're well. Good. We're glad you're fine. We have time for one more question.
One more. As a creator of an ongoing series, you start out, you're working really hard, you really want to get your product out there, and you're focused on deadlines, you're looking at the numbers. Is there ever a time where you felt like you made it, you don't have to worry about that anymore?
No. I don't know. I suspect this is endemic to all writers in this field. There's a psychological syndrome, not officially recognized, but generally recognized, called the fraud syndrome, which is everyone thinks that those other people in my business made it legitimately because of their scholarship and their skill and their whatever. But I snuck in the back door, and I don't really belong here, and at some point they're going to recognize this and throw me out. I suffer from that, and many other writers I've met suffer from the same thing. So no, I will never in my life feel like I've made it. 30 years into the business now, I think I may break into comics someday soon. Yeah, it's not a thing with me.
It's different looking from the outside in,
I wouldn't know.
30 years and 10 years with Fables. Congratulations. So you've been doing Fables for a really long time. What is second closest to your heart after Fables? Because I'm sure that's up there.
Well, okay, sure. Let's assume that Fables is closest to my heart. I would have gone with my loved ones and the people I care about, but sure enough.
I mean, of your creations, of your written creations.
Of my creations, yeah. No, certainly Fables is right up there. With, once again, the strong proviso that I'm hoping it's going to catch on someday. 10 years in, I still don't trust it. At any moment, the entire readership could wake up and say, "We've been reading comics about talking ducks and moo cows. What were we thinking?" and leave. And I know that with each issue, we have to win them back. That said, what's second favorite is this is a lot like the question of which of your children do you like the least. If they were both going over a cliff, which one would you save and which one would you let die horribly? I don't know. I have a fondness for. I mean, there's a new thing that I've been working on that's about to come out or about to be announced coming out that I'm pretty excited about. In comics, my second favorite. I think way back when, and you will not remember this because you were like in diapers at the time. How old are you? You're not going to say, are you? Okay.
I'm doing the interview here.
You're young.
But I can read things that have come out, before I was born or whatever.
Yeah, these you can't because they came out, they were in print, and then they'll never be reprinted again because the guy that owns the rights to them is kind of a wackadoodle. But a book called The Elementals, which was my first real foray into comics. And that made some waves, and I tried a few things that were not generally done in comics with it, and I thought they were kind of semi-half-ass successful. So I have a fondness for that. I wish we could get Elementals back.
But Lone Star's out of business, and you can't get them to reprint it, and there's some sort of legal technical issues, probably?
No, it's not Lone Star, it's Kimiko, the comic company. The fellow that bought Kimiko when Kimiko kind of committed suicide as a company ended up with the rights to Elementals, and yeah, he'll never do anything with it because he is a bizarrely non-functional evil fiend.
Well, moving on then.
Okay, let's move on.
When it comes to Fables, there's a lot you've done with it. There's a lot you've done outside of just the series. You've gone out and done Jack of Fables. You've done Cinderella, Fabletown, or had that made. How do you decide what characters get their own spin-off stories or their own novels even, and which characters can have their stories explored within the original Fables series?
Yeah, those decisions are easy. The spin-offs that I do myself, like either in novel form or in graphic novel form, are just what do I think of doing, and what do I have a burning desire to do with this particular character or this group of characters. The ones that are done by other people, even easier, because these wonderful writers come to me and say, hey, I have an idea to do something with this character. For example, when Chris Robertson started writing the Cinderella spin-offs, what he did was come to me and say, I've got this great idea for a Cinderella thing that you should write. And then he laid out the entire plot that, you know, Cinderella's a super spy, and her arch nemesis, of course, is Dorothy, because she's like a witch killer of great renown. As a matter of fact, the Turner Classic Movies, or TNT, or one of those stations, just re-showed The Wizard of Oz. And in their blurb to describe what the movie's about, their blurb was, a young girl gets transported to a surreal land where she kills the first person she meets and then teams up with 3 strangers to kill again. And that was the blurb. And that so perfectly described what Chris was saying. He said, you should write that. Like, Cinderella against Dorothy the Witch Killer. And I said, that's great, you write it. You know, so people come to me with, if they come with wonderful ideas, that's how we decide which ones to do.
Yeah, you've been really lucky to work with such amazing artists and writers in your field.
Vastly lucky. I just, you know, once again, it's sort of, I keep thinking that all these people are going to say, what the hell are we doing, like letting you in this club? Get out. Yeah, I've been fortunate in my associations.
Yes, and very fortunate indeed. This is the 10th year of Fables, and this March you're going to have your first ever Fabletown and Beyond convention. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, part of it is just what the hell was I thinking? Because anyone who runs a convention, I sort of suspected that running a convention is a lot of work, and not until actually committing to do it did I realize just how much work is involved. So I think part of it is just a suicidal impulse on my part.
You're in over your head a little?
You know, I'm in over my head like in a casual conversation with anyone, but in this case it's way over my head. But part of it is just like every single cop in the world is always plotting the perfect crime, and they do it just as kind of like career self-defense. It's sort of like, God, if I was going to kill my wife, I wouldn't have done that. I would have done this and this and this, and then idiots like me would have never suspected you. So they're always kind of redoing people's crimes in their heads. So as a person who has attended many comic conventions, I've always been saying, oh, if I did a convention, it would be like lots of this and none of this and all that. So it's just a matter of, like, you know, put up or shut up. Let's see if I really can do what I would consider the perfect convention. Yeah, we'll see. But I think it's about a great area of the comics industry, the mythic fiction corner, which Fables is part of. I think is the growing movement in comics right now. Probably as strong as the movement that had superheroes dominate for 50 years.
I think it's also a movement generally in media today.
Yeah, in any storytelling.
There's
a
lot in TV and movies going on now.
Absolutely. So, of course, we should take at least one convention and just examine that little corner of the storytelling machine. And that's what it's about.
That sounds awesome.
And we're opening our own bar. One of the worst things about any convention is not having a good bar at the hotel, and we solve that by we're just opening our own for the 3 days of the show.
That sounds awesome. I'm there. Aren't you in?
Well, we look forward to having you there. I mean, and I can tell you look forward to being had. So there you go.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today, and we hope you enjoy your stay in Toronto.
Oh, I will, and thank you very much.